Hello, friends, and welcome into NFL Daily, made possible by our friends over at Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com/chat, and when you go to that link, you'll save 20% off and get free shipping on all of their amazing products. NFL Week 16 is here, but the rumors today focus heavily on coaching staff. Urban Meyer, the Urban Legends, if you will, are back for another year. Adam Schefter reporting that NFL teams have expressed interest in Urban Meyer, who is considering making a jump, although he hasn't yet made up his mind, and he's never coached in the NFL, and Urban had the same stuff happen last year. Maybe he just likes the attention. Maybe there's some interest. I don't think he's made up his mind at all. But what I do know is at the college football level, Urban Meyer's been one of the greatest head coaches we've seen in a very long time, right up there with Nick Saban, which didn't work out so well in the NFL, but he won everywhere he's been. Bowling Green, Utah, a lot of success at Florida, a lot of success at Ohio State. Everywhere that Urban Meyer has gone, he's been a winner. He's had success, and it's been very impressive. So it's very understandable that NFL teams would be like, yeah, I kind of want to see if Urban Meyer has interest. Now, Schefter said there were two teams that expressed interest in Meyer. I've put together what I think are the two teams, at least make some sense for Meyer and a potential jump to the NFL. Beginning with the Detroit Lions here. Now, the reason why this makes some sense is because of who the Lions just hired. Former Ohio State football standout, former Fox Sports commentator, Chris Spielman is a special assistant to the owner. And as a reminder, Spielman's publicly backed Urban Meyer before, back when the whole Zach Smith drama was going on. So that makes some sense there. I think the one that makes the most sense, though, which Schefter also kind of hinted at, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Meyer has plenty of ties to the Florida area, of course, the longtime Florida Gators head coach. I do want to make note, it's a little funny to see these connections between Urban Meyer and Jacksonville because they do have a head coach still. Doug Marrone has not yet been fired, although things are trending toward Jacksonville getting the number one overall pick. And if you're Urban Meyer, wouldn't you like to go to a spot you have some familiarity with? And oh, by the way, you're set at quarterback because you're taking Trevor Lawrence number one overall. Makes some sense there if Urban actually wants to make the jump to the NFL. I remain unconvinced that's the path Urban is going to take. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. Will Urban Meyer coach an NFL team? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Let's talk quarterbacks now. Mitch Trubisky. He's been better for Chicago. The Bears are trending towards maybe making the postseason. He's in the last year of his contract. That means he's going to get paid, right? Maybe. Trubisky has been better since the Bears benched him and then went with Nick Foles, who was also bad, and turned back to Trubisky. The numbers are pretty solid. I mean, if you can get that with Trubisky, you're probably feeling, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I will make note, though, those aren't against the highest quality of competition. That could be a potential red flag there. Things are awkward for Chicago because they kind of have to make a decision very soon. His contract is over. And what happens if the Bears make the postseason? Regardless of how well or not well they play, they're going to be picking in the 20s. They're not going to be able to draft a quarterback. Are they going to sign somebody? The options aren't great if Dak Prescott gets franchise tag again. Kind of in a weird spot for Chicago, right? So maybe it's not a full-fledged extension. Maybe it's a franchise tag. Maybe it's a cheaper prove-it one-year deal, although Trubisky would probably try and gamble on himself there. So what should the Bears do? They're in a very awkward spot here. Should they bring him back for next season, 2021? Type 1 for yes, one more year for Trubisky, or type in 0 for no. That's not the best path for Chicago. Let's talk Miami Dolphins now here. Tua the focus on today's video. Benched again in the Dolphins' comeback win over the Las Vegas Raiders. However, head coach Brian Flores backed his young rookie quarterback, saying he's going to start again in Week 17. Although, he also said he'd go back to Ryan Fitzpatrick, called him the relief pitcher, the closer, if you will, if needed. I'm sure you guys all know exactly how this game went down. It was a thrilling finish, right? Dolphins are not moving the ball very well on offense. They bench Tua. They insert Ryan Fitzpatrick. He goes 9 of 13 for 180-something yards. Myles Gaskin catches 2 receptions. There's the face mask by Arden Key as Fitzpatrick finds his receiver alongside the corner or along the sideline, in Matt Collins. There's a face mask on top of it. They kick the game-winning field goal. Dolphins go to 10-5 and are in fantastic position to secure a playoff spot. But the Dolphins are in a unique position where they're trying to win now. They've got 10 wins in most years. That gets you in the postseason. Will probably be the case again this season. But they've also got to develop their young rookie quarterback in Tua. Based solely on the on-field quarterback play, when you toss out the results, when you toss out the win-loss stuff, all of that, stuff that matters but isn't the best way to evaluate a quarterback, Fitzpatrick has been better. But if you're Miami, you know the age matters too. And you know Tua's your guy long-term. It's not going to be Fitzpatrick, or at least you want Tua to be the guy long-term. They got to find a way to develop him as best as possible. This system seems to be working of Tua's going to be the guy at every chance possible. If he struggles late in games, we'll go to Fitzpatrick, and the cycle of Fitzpatrick works really well for that as a backup quarterback. But for Week 17, for Week 1 of the playoffs, you kind of have to go with Tua as far as I'm concerned. But get your votes in here. Pick a quarterback as it only relates to the rest of this season. Otherwise, it's an obvious Tua, right? F for Ryan Fitzpatrick, or T for you want to go with Tua the rest of the way. Now, Week 17 could matter a lot for Miami, depending on what happens for the Buffalo Bills. If the Buffalo Bills lose that game, all of a sudden, Miami's still, of course, fighting for a potential playoff spot, fighting for seeding, fighting for all kinds of stuff there. An 11-win Dolphin team, that'd be a pretty nice sight. Of course, Buffalo can make a lot of this meaningless by being the Patriots, but that game does matter for Miami, and it's going to matter unless the Ravens collapse down the stretch, which seems pretty darn unlikely. So that game is important for the Dolphins, and it's important for Tua. If he does start again, Miami's going to play a little bit better if they're going to make a playoff run like that team thinks they can. Now, today's show is made possible by our friends over at Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com/chat. When you use that link, you'll get 20% off, and you'll get free shipping as well on all of their great products, including the Lawn Mower 3.0. You don't have to take my word for it. Ask my wife. Makes everything look just a little bit bigger and better down there. It's the best men's grooming tool out there. It's manscaped.com/chat. Again, that link, which will be in the comments and in the description for you guys, will save you 20% off and get you free shipping. Lawnmower 3.0 per package. All of their products are available at manscaped.com/chat. All right, back to some head coaching talk here for Kansas City in the NFL. We all know about Eric Bieniemy, right? The longtime head coaching target. I guess he doesn't interview well because he keeps getting passed over. Not the only guy, though, that is drawing interest around the NFL. Quarterback coach Mike Kafka, just 33 years old, the former Northwestern product, murdered passing him quarter the season, also drawing some interest around the NFL. There will be some outcry, and I'll leave it at that, if Mike Kafka, the underling to Eric Bieniemy, gets hired over him this offseason. One job that will not be coming open, apparently, is the Denver Broncos head coaching gig. Vic Fangio is set to return as head coach in 2021, entering Week 16, 12-18 as the Denver Broncos head coach. I think it is very fair to give Fangio a third year. And the reasoning there is, look, that team has been hit hard by injuries between Von Miller, Cortland Sutton, and half the other roster, it seems like. Plus major quarterback problems. Drew Lock missed time. They threw out Brett Rippon for a game. They had a game with no quarterbacks available. There's been a lot going on this year for Denver. I think it makes a lot of sense to give Fangio another year, but in year 3, if that team doesn't show progress, and if Drew Lock doesn't show growth, might be another reset for the organization that might even involve John Elway as GM. Regardless of what happens this offseason, you can bet there's going to be chaos and drama and intrigue, and we're going to keep you guys covered on all of it. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Between the draft, free agency, coaching changes, there's going to be a lot going on. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Over to Seattle now. Damon Harrison, well, looks like he's not going to be a Seahawks for very much longer. He has reportedly asked for his release after being told he was not going to be active against the LA Rams, and the Seahawks plan to grant that if Harrison does not end up changing his mind, which at this point seems pretty unlikely. Harrison had kind of become a rotational player for the Seahawks. They brought him in, let him help get fully back into shape. Look, he's a big guy who had missed some time earlier this year and wasn't in camp, so it was going to take some not rehab, but build-up time for him. But he hasn't been the same guy. Just 6 tackles in 2020, and even in 30-ish% of the snaps when he's been playing, that's not very much. He wasn't the same guy. He was no longer prime Damon Harrison. We saw it a couple times across the NFL with some of the bigger-bodied defensive linemen. In the end, Seattle wanted to play Brian Monet over him, a younger player who I guess had been producing about the same, at least in the eyes of the Seahawks. So Harrison appears his time is over in Seattle. That's significant, by the way, because there was interest around the NFL from Damon Harrison. Teams like the Bucs, for example, when Vita Vea went down, they tried to sign Harrison off the team's practice squad. He said no. He'd moved his family up there, up to Seattle. But he's not playing. Now he's not interested. So you see the regression from Harrison. 2018 was still playing at a high level. 2019 was still banged up. I bet he's better if he just play, of course, in 2021. But the production had very much dipped for the big boy on the interior. Now, Harrison doesn't appear to have any ill will, by the way, against the Seattle Seahawks. Tweeted this out this morning. No one is doing me wrong. The team is investing in their future as they should. Winning and preparing for the future at the same time is rare. If you know me, you know I find meaning in everything. I was supposed to be here for the time I was here for a lot of reasons. So it appears Seattle's going to make the move to release Harrison, keep things, okay between the two sides there, and let him go sign somewhere else, or go on waivers, I should say, this season. So what would you do, though, with Damon Harrison? Would you try and keep him? That would mean you have to play him a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Type K for keep him, and of course play him, or type C for cut him, move on, and roll with the guys currently on the team.